Welcome to In the Mix. We're bringing the roundtable discussion about your favorite organizations, corporations, and individuals right to your doorstep and your eardrum. And now, you're in the mix. All right, well, welcome to In the Mix. We got a real special episode here today. Former Panther, Boilermaker, Steeler, 49er, Raven and Raider, Hall of Famer and Fort Wayne native, Rod Woodson. Thanks for joining us today.
What's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me on.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're just having fun, like taking advantage of, some opportunities in the area. A great opportunity is, with your football camp and Grant being a participant from yesteryear just made it even better.
Yesteryear indeed. Most definitely. Yeah. Well, so real fast, Rod, we'll just get into it real fast. So now the camp's back in Fort Wayne, what sort of things have you missed about running those camps?
Well, I just miss interaction with the kids. I'm a grassroots football guy. God has blessed me to, be on the NFL Network for over 9 years. And, my kids got a little bit older. They started playing football, and then I started coaching them. So I got that itch to coach. And back in 2011, Al Davis called me and asked me to coach the corners for the Raiders. And I was like, well, I can't deny the Godfather.
There you go.
Right.
It's like, I'll be swimming with the fishes if I do something.
That's
like
right.
That. So I took that on, man. It was fun. We were there for only 1 year. That was when Hugh Jackson was a coach there, which, I don't agree with that firing, but, I've always wanted to do it. And last couple of years, I've done camps with another company here in the U.S. and internationally. And, when I got fired by the Raiders the second time, so fired twice by the same company, the second time around when Gruden got there, I just got in my prayer closet and I was just like, where do you want me to go? I still work during the season when I call NFL games for Westwood One. So I love doing that. But what do you want me to do? And he was just like, hey, I want you to get back to the grassroots part of giving back to football, because I'm a disciple of Christ disguised as a coach. Sure. And so, I love giving back to the kids. And it's a little bit different though. This camp this time around is really different than the first one. The first one was like, we're just going to have fun. We're going to go out there. I'll bring some of my guys in. We'll talk a little football here and there. This is different. This one is the youth portion of it. We're going to have the first 2 days, the 6th and the 7th. So we're going to have fun with those guys, right? We're going to teach them individual drills. We're going to let them have fun. We're going to have, we feed all the kids lunch for free. But then for the youth, we're going to have a educationer, somebody that's in the education side of it, come in and talk to the kids. Just importance of school, just importance of school, and then not even going to a 4-year college afterwards, even going to tech school after college, a trade school. I think it's so lost with our new generation because they're so inundated with social media that you have to spend $250,000 to get educated to have a job. And that's not true. So to tell the truth to the kids, that's one thing for the youth side of it. And then after that, in the afternoon, we have flag football. We just go play flag football. We're going to have an AFC side, an NFC side, and let's see who's the best. I think the AFC side is going to be better than the NFC side. But anyway, that's a personal preference.
At all.
Right. And then high school is really different than what we did before, in the sense that we're bringing Zybeck, and that's the digital timing company for the NFL. They're coming in to time the kids. So the kids who run 4.4, they're not going to run a 4.4 in digital timing. So it's going to be a little bit slower. They might be a little bit upset, but it's the real time. And then we have another company called XOs, which is one of the biggest grading companies in the country, XO Catapult. They're coming in to grade the kids and put them in their database. So any kids who want to play football, they'll be in a database where coaches can go see them, see their information, see a little film work on them. We have another company that's a little newer, and it's called The Sequel. And The Sequel is kind of like a media platform for the kids. The Sequel, they'll come out themselves. They'll videotape periodically throughout the camp. And then the kids will be able to come into their website, chop up the video and plaster it on their social media website for free. That's all free for the kids. Then our last thing that we did is that we partnered with a company called Quick Cut. And so we videotape all our practices for the high school. We don't videotape the youth practices, but the high school practice, we videotape everything because we want the kids who want to go to college to understand what it's going to feel like when they get there. They're going to do an install period, which we're going to do. Then they're going to go to the field. They're going to do individual drills, and then they'll get to the 101, 707s, and all that. In the same time frame, we're live streaming on our platform that we have with Quick Cut. And then as soon as practice is over, we're going to go to lunch. We're going to have a couple speakers come in. We're going to have one speaker that's going to come in and talk about mental health, which I think is a really, really important to the kids. We have another speaker that's going to talk about just speed training, how important it is to be fast in all sports. And then lastly, we're going to talk about if you want to go to college, and the sequel is going to do this. If you want to go to college, what are the qualifications, when you have to be registered in the Westinghouse, and all the little to-dos for that. And then after we do that, we're going to go back to the classroom. They get to see film because there's so many different learners in life, right? You got visual learners, you got audio learners, you got rep people who need to be there and do it over and over and over. So we're going to give them different looks and hopefully they'll get it. So we're going to go back into the film room, let them see what they did right, did wrong. And then we do it all over again. And we do that for 2.5 days. We have fun with it. For me, our biggest, like our hashtag for the kids, and it's still really the same purpose, is to look in the mirror. Our hashtag is I can, I will. And what we really want the kids to do is figure out that they do belong. Because the one thing that team atmosphere gives you is a place of acceptance. And when you can find acceptance, be it, I just remember, coaching for so long and coaching high school where one kid was just he didn't feel like that he belonged there, but he got a little bit better as the season went on. He got a little bit better. Guys started talking to him, everything. The following year, he came back, he cut his hair, he took his glasses off, he had contacts. I didn't even know who he was, completely transformed himself in his own belief in who he is. And that's what we really are. At the end result, that's what we really want. We want all individuals who come to the camp to believe I can, I will. Because if you don't believe you can, you never will. And then our hashtag for our coaches and all the volunteers who are a part of it is share the knowledge. Because we've been there, right? Grant physically has been in the camp, right? But everybody who's older gets to share the knowledge to the younger generation, be it about life, be it about school, be it about football or sports in general. We get to share that with the kids. And, that's very important to bring up the next generation so they don't forget the past. That's our end result is those two last things, making the kids believe in themselves and making the coaches and volunteers all tell the kids how special they are, because they're all special. All of the kids are special in their own ways. And they have to understand that and they have to believe that.
I just hear abundance from this, you know what I mean? Just having this abundance mindset, inclusive. I mean, it just resonates.
It's just incredible because, some kids are going to get this sort of experience. Some kids have the support that can help them reach out and interact with colleges and know what it's like to watch film. But some kids don't. And some kids don't even know that they're missing that. And I think that these kids that are able to attend this camp and experience this can just get a taste of what's possible. And with that little taste of what's possible, I think, anyway, just the possibilities are endless, right? So I just appreciate that so much. And so as we move forward here, real fast, thanks for breaking that down. That's amazing, man. That was outstanding.
Yes.
And so it just made me think of all the kids that you've impacted over the years, right? I've told you in the past that I still remember the faces of kids that I've seen at that camp. I still remember the color of the glasses of this kid that we were friends for years after that, right? So speaking of that sort of timeline situation, so say it's 20 years from now, 25 years from now, and you run into a camper or two that experienced this new camp, right? They experienced this new camp. How would you love for that conversation to go?
Well, my biggest thing is I just want them to share, right? I want them to share. we all have the one thing about sports, especially football, because you bring in 53 individuals that are in the locker room in the NFL. In college is even more than that, and we're all from different walks of life. We all have different belief systems. We're all from different economic and social backgrounds that are a little bit different, but we all have a common goal when we step on a team, right? We want to win. We want to participate. We want to feel that we're a part of it. And that's all I want. I just want, if somebody's that's, say, Grant, you're talking to one of the kids today, or one of the kids who went after you or before you, to have a conversation like, hey, you really helped me believe in myself. And it helped me be a part of our community, in a sense, trying to bring back, I think we've had 25 current NFL players or ex-NFL players to play in the National Football League. So trying to get all those guys back at one time frame, I think is really important for the visual of what kids can accomplish from Fort Wayne, Indiana, but any small school, small city, if you believe in yourself. If you for now, you got to put work in. You got to put, there's nothing's ever been bad about hard work, right? So hard work has to be there, but you also have to believe that you can do it. And in the same token, if that conversation goes where, hey man, I remember, Ray Lewis came to the camp and man, he said something that kind of resonated with me. And that's the moment. It's not the overall aspect of it. It's sometimes those little one-liners that somebody will say to you that kind of reaches your soul and it plants the seed in that individual. And then somebody else will come by. And it's kind of like being a parent, right? You tell your kids not to do certain things. You tell them not to do certain things. You tell them to do to do certain things. And then they won't do them. And then somebody else comes in the house and says the exact same thing. And they go, oh yeah, that's really smart. And I'm like, I've told you that for 10 years. Yeah, but it's the same thing. And really coaching, and that's what we're doing, is really teaching life. Really, that's what it is. And really the best coaches that I've ever been around are great mentors. And they have those one-liners that kind of hit you, man. And even 17-year-olds, 13-year-olds, they remember those one-liners, and they'll remember, somebody said something, and 5 years down the road when they get to college, or they're getting to another job, workplace, or they're in a trade school, another one of their co-workers or friends or bosses or teachers will say the exact same thing, maybe in different terms. And they'll go, oh yeah, so now the seed's there. Now it's getting watered. Now it's getting nurtured. Now we're going to see some manifestation somewhere along the line. And that's what it's all about.
Speaking of one-liners, I noticed one that you guys have rolling pretty everywhere on all of the logos is practicing excellence. And, how does, maybe share and expand on us from your perspective how, practicing excellence impacts your life on the field and off the field?
Yeah, I mean, practicing excellence is, we are what we repeatedly do. So excellence is a habit. It's not an act, right? That's Aristotle. Just to let everybody know.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm writing it down.
He's giving credit.
And the one thing that we have to understand, we can get into bad habits because we do them over and over and over and over. And we don't really think about them as bad, but they're that hindrance, it's that thorn in the side that we have that we can never get rid of. We don't know why. Well, we've done it for 10 years. So if you take a pebble, and I put one pebble in front of your house or in front of your door, it's no big deal. It's a little bitty pebble. But then I do another one. Every time you do something wrong, I do another one. Then I put another one. Then I put an over years. Eventually, there's going to be a huge stone in front of your door that you can't get rid of. And you're like, how did that get there? What happened? And it was just consistently doing something the wrong way or the right way. And, if you repeatedly do the right thing, and I live by a mantra called DTRT, do the right thing. And all that you do. It's hard to do because we are kind of silly people. We are, we're not perfect human beings. We do stupid stuff, right? And then you turn around and go, why did I just do that? We all say that to ourselves.
Perfectly imperfect.
It's really hard to do, but do the right thing in being a friend, being a son, being a brother, being a teammate, being a coworker. And doing the right thing is not being accepted, because doing the right thing sometimes is walking a path that nobody else is in and staying in that path and not swimming down with the stream with the salmon that makes it easy, but swimming upstream when they're getting ready to spawn, which is tough, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what's tough. And when one of your friends are going sideways and he's doing something that he shouldn't do, instead of agreeing with him and joining in, and now you both get in trouble, say, hey, Bob, Bill, Charlie, Ed, whatever, Ray, you can't do that.
You can't. Better than that.
If you do that, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to lose your scholarship. You're going to get kicked off the team. You're going to get grounded. And if friends can do that more instead of wanting to be accepted all the time, you'll have better communities. You'll have better football teams. You'll have better workplaces. And I mean, that's our biggest thing. And that's what excellence, that's what, practicing excellence daily looks like. You have to do it every single day to get there, or you never will get there.
Oh man, yeah, you can't pick it up and put it down, right?
No, I mean, you think about what Steph Curry is. Probably one of the best pure shooters we've ever seen in pro basketball. What kids need to see is his regimen. He tries to make 100 straight free throws a day, and then 100 straight shots in a day. So if he gets to 50 and misses, he starts over. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if I would say, I got to catch 100 straight balls because I'm going to drop one and I got to start all over again. I mean, but if you watch him play, he's flawless a lot of times. And even at his older age, he still plays at a high level. That's excellence. He's playing at the highest peak that he has in his body. And that's what we ask of individuals. But we're not willing to put in that work. And that's what we're trying to tell the kids, that if you do it every single day and it becomes a part of you, you don't even think about it. The first thing I do, I'm kind of OCD, but the first thing I do in the morning, I make my bed. As soon as I get out of it, I make it. I plan it off, I make it every single day. So at the end of the day, if nothing else happens well, at least I come back to a made bed. Right? At least I come back to that. But it's just a part of what I do. I have a regimen. I have kind of a schedule of doing things in a day. And I've done it this way for, gosh, I don't know, almost 25 years. And this is a part of who I am. And it was the same way playing sports. I tell kids all the time, don't work out, train.
There you go.
Working out, I work out now. I'm 56 years old. I work out. I don't train. I have no reason and no irkling in my body to train again, right? My wife works out. But I tell kids who really want to get to the next level, you got to learn to train. And training is it's a process. It's not that you go to a gym or you go to a track and you just do something and you get tired and you go home.
Yeah.
Training is getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. We had a swim workout at 6:30. After our swim workout, we went to the track. We ran our track workout. After our track workout, we got in the car, went over to Three River Stadium, did our lifting. After our lifting workout, we went to the field and did our field work. I was done probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Every single day. Did that I didn't do it my first 2 years. My first 2 years, I was a young knucklehead kid. So I would be lying to people. But going into my third year, when I got a guy named Rod Woodson coming into my life, and our coaching staff with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he changed my mindset about being just an athlete, about mindsets, how to train your mind, how your mind needs to be stronger than your body, because your body does get fatigued. Your body does get tired. And if your body controls yourself, then your mind falls in place. But if your mind's stronger, you say, nope, we're not stopping. We're going to keep going. We're going to take a minute break. I wasn't going to take a break, but we're going to take a minute break and we're going to finish this thing. Discipline and motivation are two different things. Mm-hmm. Most of people are motivated because they want to lose weight. They want to get their beach bodies ready, right? They want to get their, little Speedo. Well, people don't wear Speedos nowadays. But anyway, back in the day, we wore Speedos to school, to the pool. But to get that body ready, right, to go to the beach. That's motivation. Discipline is doing something day in and day out, no matter if you feel like it or not. Right? That's what discipline is. And that's what we try to expand to the young players, the young individuals, not just in football, but in school and in life. And hopefully it gets through the one or two of them and they can keep planting that seeds in their communities.
That's practicing excellence right there.
The reps of excellence.
Oh, get the reps in. Speaking of getting the reps in, kind of, I want to dive in. Grant and I are really curious about this just because we're all about the competition, the middle game, and like any given Sunday, Al Pacino's doing his, it's a game of inches speech, and it is true, which is why it was so popular. But, how would you say, that mindset of a game of inches, how does that relate to you winning a Super Bowl in your 14th season?
No, it was great, man. Losing one, I've been to three, lost two of them. And when the confetti is not yours, it does not feel good. I can tell you that right now. But, because we all play, or we all do things to be the best at them, right? The best that we can be. And, I went to Baltimore knowing that there's a possibility that we have a pretty good team together. And it all came together. Marvin Lewis's play calling and game planning, to Ray Lewis making big plays and big games. Because I told Ray in the previous years, like, yeah, you lead the team in tackles, but so does 31 other players in the league.
Yeah,
great players make big plays in big games and big moments. And when we played the Tennessee Titans in the divisional round, and the ball kind of tipped off at Eddie George's hands, and Ray got it, ran it in, and kind of sealed the deal for that victory to get us moving to the championship game against the Oakland Raiders. That's the type of plays that you need to be great, to have excellence. And the little things matter when you're trying to be great. The little things matter, and it's the little things on a daily. It's the big things we do easily, but it's the little things that you kind of constantly remind yourself as players, what your weaknesses, how do you play? You got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself in the workplace. You got to be honest with yourself when you look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like, what type of person do I want to be? Where do I want to be in 5 years? And everything that you just said you wanted to be, and that goal, all your motives, everything that you do from here on out for the next 5 years should be leading to that, or you're going to fall short. So, I always tell kids just set a goal, whatever it may be. Don't tell anybody what the goal is, because that's yours. I don't like the new kid who gets on TikTok or whatever it might be, and then tells all his aspirations for the year. Right now, I just think some things are personable, and they should be personable, and they should stay within yourself. Other things, obviously, have fun with it. But, I think when you do the little things the right way all the time, that's when you find excellence. And that's when you find the better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today. But you have to be honest with yourself in the mirror. What did I do wrong today that I need to be better at tomorrow? And then you fight that battle.
Yeah.
And then you do the same thing, and then you do the same thing, and then you do the same, and it becomes a part of who you are. You don't even think about it after a while. You just say, okay, what am I need to do? Oh yeah, okay. And then you're honest with yourself, and it becomes your DNA. And when it becomes your DNA, that's when you find a better version of yourself every single day that you weren't out the day before.
Man, that's awesome. I mean, wouldn't you agree that you're helping yourself by self-assessing from a good place when you are taking inventory, that you need to be in the right state of mind for development, not like just kicking yourself, or knocking yourself down the whole time?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know for me as a player, I had a book, and my book was more negative things that I did wrong. So if I took multiple bad steps on a break, I would, or my eyes would be bad on a break, I would write that down constantly. The good things, I just knew I was doing those anyway. So consciously, I didn't have to remind myself, or subconsciously, I didn't have to remind myself by writing it down to keep coming back to it. But what I would do I would do it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, look at it on Friday. And if it came up, 3 times in, 3 different days that my eyes were bad, then I know I got to keep working on that. Now I can't do that on a Friday because the Fridays is kind of a slow practice anyway. Saturday we're leaving. If it's an away game, then we got our games on Sundays. So always trying to figure out, like, how do I make myself better? And to evaluate that. I'm not a person to self-congratulate myself. I'm just not that guy, right? My arms aren't long enough to pat myself on the back. I get like my shoulder, back of my neck. That's about it. But I know when you do something right, or when you do something good. More people are going to tell you that you did it anyway. I personally don't say what I do well. I do say what I do wrong.
Yeah.
I just type of person I am. I know other guys who gloat in what they do well. They let everybody know how good they are. I don't think anything's wrong with it. It's just not me.
Right. No, I understand. And, just from, what I know of Grant, and vice versa, we couldn't agree with that mindset, anymore, but it is all coming from a good place. So you're assessing that because you know that you got more in the tank. You're capable of more, and you talk about the reps and getting all those things in, and you're wearing it like your skin, and that's what it's all about.
I hope people are hearing the depth of the training, the depth of the training. You're not just saying my eyes were bad, I need to work on my eyes. You're on purpose with recording those feelings after those workouts. And then you're reading the summary of that, and you're finding trends in your workouts, and then you're assessing it, and then you're moving forward, and then you're training on those focus areas. I hope that hits home with some folks that hear this. That's something.
Right. I mean, but that's like in business too, right? So if you're in restaurants, if you're a restaurant and you have a menu, first of all, you shouldn't have a huge menu if you're a restaurant because you got too much inventory, too much overhead. But you're a restaurant, and then you're trying to figure out what's selling, what's not selling. Then you try to figure out why things are selling.
Yeah.
So you should do a survey with your customers, right? And then you try to figure out why things are not selling.
Root cause. It's great.
And then you move on for things are not selling and try to, if you like the product, you try to, figure out why not. And then you ask your patrons, then you try to correct that. If not, you move on from the product to get something else to replace it. I mean, we should always self-evaluate everything that we do, not day to day, because it has to be, it has to be long-term. It has to be weekly, monthly, because every day we're going to do different things wrong. But if something keeps coming up, this one thing keeps popping up, it popped up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or it popped up, Monday, Wednesday, then there's an issue somewhere along the line. If it pops up like that, 3 weeks in a row, twice a week or 3 times a week, then we know we have an issue that we have to correct that ourselves.
Oh yeah, man, that's awareness too, right?
Yes.
I mean, we try to talk about just kind of taking inventory and just seeing things for what they are, and without beating yourself.
Is owning it.
Yeah, right.
Just like you said,
we're perfectly imperfect.
That's right.
What I mean? So it's just seeing what you can do. I know you don't like to talk about accolades and stuff, but Grant and I, we just couldn't help. We just want to know about the Hall of Fame day. Great day for professional Pro Football Hall of Fame. Obviously a lot of things going on. Lots of things in the air and in the field that day. What stood out to you about that?
I mean, it's so surreal because it's a long week. I mean, you're there. I mean, if you're an inductee, you're there from Monday all the way through Sunday. I mean, it's a tedious, long week. But it is so surreal because you think about all the people that have played pro football in the time frame in the U.S. And that's a lot because it's not the NFL Hall of Fame. Now, mostly NFL players go in there, but like Warren Moon.
Sure.
Warren Moon's passing numbers from the CFL should be included.
Yeah.
In his total. They just have the the stuff that he did with the NFL, but it doesn't say NFL Hall of Fame. It's the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The CFL is a pro league. And what I mean by that is that, there's so many different players who play pro football, not just here in the US, but in Canada, right? And to be at that time, I think I'm number 343, something like that. to be only at that point that I came in, the mid 300s, 343 people in the Hall of Fame. It's mind blowing. You know, I'm a country boy from Indiana, never really thought, I mean, I like football. I love track. I really love track. And I love football in a different way. And I kind of grew into football more than I grew into track. I mean, I was fast from day one. Football, I became a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Listen, my junior year, I wasn't an honorable mention All-State in Indiana. My senior year, All-American. What clicked? I have no idea. Never giving up, maybe perseverance, whatever it could be, but it clicked. And so from that kid who just got a scholarship his senior year to Hall of Fame, I mean, it was just so surreal. Now, the one thing that I wanted to make sure that I did is that I didn't do it by myself.
Right.
You know, some guys get up there and they talk about themselves, but they're already there, right? You're not convincing anybody that you're good, you're great. I mean, you're there. You got a big bronze bust in a building that's never going to be gone until God wants to destroy the earth again. So it's like, I just want to, thank my parents, every coach that helped me change my mindset to make the game fun for me. My little league coach, Dave Rohde, who I talk to today all the time still. People who helped me along the way and to change my mindset. I really want to make sure that they were mentioned and that people knew that I didn't do this alone.
Man, sounds, I love that because, if I had a bottom line to one word, it's just like inclusive, right? That's what it really feels like, that's the mentality that you have about it. To have a little fun with the fort, obviously, been here my whole life, Fort Wayne's a lot different, when traveling back to Fort Wayne over the years, what have you particularly enjoyed about the growth of the area?
I mean, there's a lot. It's expanded. From going from the north and the south, it was like a 15-minute ride at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's a little bit longer. It takes you a little bit longer to get to the north or the south, right? But it's great to see expansion. Now, so it's always good to see cities grow, but just to see companies from some people who are homegrown in Fort Wayne having some really nice companies and companies that are doing extremely well financially in the city. That is awesome to see. So to come back to see that. But as long as Power Hamburgers at least has one store, and Coney Island at least has a store, I'm good when I come back to Fort Wayne.
Oh yeah. Downtown's probably the best. I mean, we're literally across the street from Coney Island, so man, you might even be able to smell them all the way out right through the mic.
200 feet away.
Yeah, I mean, so every time I come back to Fort Wayne, I have to go to Powers and I have to go to Coney Island. I have to do it. It's just it's a part of the city that I am so glad it's still there.
Yeah.
And so glad that even the new generation gets to at least taste some, because there was multiple stores when we were younger. I mean, now it's just the one store, but I'm still glad that one store is still there so people can taste how fresh, refreshing, good, small burgers taste like.
Oh, yeah. If you're on the right side of the wind, you can smell them from about 6-7 blocks away.
If I have too many, you can smell me from 6-7 blocks away, too.
Eat them for about 2 more days.
That's right. There you go. That's right.
Well, one last question that, we like to ask everybody. It's morning's coming around. You got your alarm set for 5 a.m. You wake up at 4:45. What wakes you up with no alarm?
Sometimes I scare myself. It's like wake up like, oh, I'm up. He let me wake up again today. Thank you. I mean, I'm honestly, I get to get up every day, and I'm blessed to get up every day. It beats the alternative, as we always say. My centerpiece is my Lord and Savior. So, I give him all the credit. He lets me wake up, and as long as he wants me to wake up, he'll keep getting me up. Now, when he wants to call me home, he'll call me home. Obviously, he's not done with me yet, so I get to stay here a little bit longer and do some more football camps and keep hopefully affecting kids in a positive manner. and keep enjoying life.
That's it right there. That's what it is. That's what gets you up, just the opportunity to enjoy life. You don't need an alarm. You just pop you up.
I mean, if the pandemic did anything, it should have told us that it's not about work. It's not about money. It's not about status. It's about family and friends. I mean, because we all missed our family and friends when we couldn't move and couldn't travel. And so I think we all saw the importance of that, of having family and having close friends. And we should never lose sight of that. Even though we're getting back to some normalcies, we should never lose sight of, working so hard that we forget who we are, who our friends are, who our family is, and spending quality time. Because I mean, listen, I'm half dead, right? I'm 56. I'm more than likely will not live to 100, so I'm half dead already. So I just want to make sure it's important for me personally that tell my kids I love them, tell my grandkids I love them, to tell my friends I love them, to call them more often than I normally had in the past. So that's a big part of the rest of my life. I know, just to show everybody how much I appreciate them.
Well, it's amazing that you get to show love to a whole city here coming up, right, in Fort Wayne, and we appreciate that so much. And it sounds like love gets right up in the morning. That's outstanding. That's beautiful, man. And I appreciate you opening up like that with us here today.
No doubt. And just a little reminder, we got the camps coming up July 6th through the 10th. And, anything you want to put out there to anybody that may be on the fence about checking out the camp, because we're going to be pumping this out there. We want it to be full, sold-out event. So what would you say to him?
Obviously, we're still open. Our youth, go to hopethroughfootball.com or hopethroughfootball.org and just go to camps coming up, and you're going to see the Fort Wayne camp. Click on the one that you are eligible to do and participate in, register, pay the little fee, and we'll see you in July.
Rod, we can't thank you enough for giving us the time. We look forward to the energy you're going to bring to the area here in the next 30 days, and just think it's really going to be an awesome camp that's going to help a lot of people and have a great reach for years to come.
Listen, I always tell people, I'm just a country boy from Indiana. I'm no better than anybody else. God just gave me some natural skills to play a game that they pay you. Well, it doesn't make sense why they pay people money to play games, but they do.
So. I love that you laugh about it. I love that it just strikes you as just funny that it happened that way. It's just incredible that it all unfolded that way. And I really do hope that it can be viewed as attainable for folks in our city and in this camp, because to your point, there's work involved, there's discipline involved, there's training involved, not working out involved. But if you can check these boxes, you can make it happen, just like you did. So it's a great story. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, signing off. Yeah. Great episode. We'll catch you next time. I want to take a quick minute to thank our sponsor, ccmindiana.com, for all your mortgage needs. Very competitive, ready to rock, ready to help you be a pre-approved buyer that can compete. Ready to get pre-approved for your next mortgage? Stop by ccmindiana.com and see how we can help.